And now it is time for F2C2 with Maura and Genevieve.
Hello everyone, and welcome to F2C2 with Maura and Genevieve.
That's me.
Today we'll be talking about art that we viewed in the NOMA in New Orleans.
Wow.
Today we're going to start off talking about the form, the function, content, and the context of these artworks that we viewed. Okay. Now, Jen, yes, what was what you looked at? The statue.
I looked at the Mounted Warrior Veranda Post by Aloe of Issei.
Didn't we already study him? a
We
little bit?
did.
That's
He did the
crazy.
Senior Wife and Enthroned King Veranda Post.
Classic.
Yes, classic Aloe of Issei.
I know, right? I looked at a sculpture by the Iwe peoples from Ghana or Togo, and it's called Janus Densu Mami Wata figure, and I can spell that for you at the bottom. It's from the early 20th century, and it's carved out of wood and painted with pigment. How interesting is that?
How interesting.
How amazing.
Mine is as well.
Because they're both African art.
Yes, and wood is a spiritual vessel.
Okay, so do you want to start off talking about yours, or should I go ahead?
Why not? So mine is this little man. It's like a big wood sculpture. He's like a blue guy with really bug eyes, kind of a like face. It's very scary.
Very manly.
Very manly. He has a big pointy beard and a headdress. He sits upon a tiny little horse. His feet are like in the stirrups. He's ready to go. He's got like a knife and a spear.
I looked at a sculpture of a two-headed, six-armed person that is half fish. So top half human, bottom half fish. And they had two snakes. One was on their head and the other one was encircling their neck.
Scary.
Very, very scary. It kind of made me feel afraid. It had 6 arms on it, and the arms were kind of positioned in different places to make it create movement, a lot of diagonal lines happening. Now I'm going to talk about kind of like the face. I think it's an ideal face for the Iwe peoples. It has a long nose, very full lips, very focused large eyes with black pigment around the outside, which could mean makeup. Maybe these people thought makeup was ideal. And,
We do.
And the faces certainly did look very focused. And yeah, we also think that these snakes could represent a deity or some sort, because snakes are revered and even worshipped in some societies. So we think that this person was certainly very strong to have 2 snakes on them.
No fear.
No fear at all.
No fear.
The figure also had a very long neck, which is kind of elegant in some societies. And I compared this piece to the Tlatko Pretty Ladies from Global Prehistory, because they're both ideal images of women. But the sculpture that I looked at was half woman, half man, so I think it could be ideal for both genders. The Tlatko Pretty Ladies had large hips, tiny cinched waists, but the other sculpture I looked at didn't have a waist. I mean, it did, but
Because it was a
it
fish.
was half fish, so that was...
It doesn't need a waist.
It doesn't need a waist.
It's as
for
exotic
breathing.
as it can get.
Oh yes, and we also talked about this disease called Diprosopus, Diprosupus, and it's a condition where multiple limbs are formed. This disease could be present in the Iwe peoples as well as the ancient Mesoamerican peoples, because they both had 2 faces, and that is like duality, which is having
Big
2...
thing.
Yes, it's a big thing in the art history world, having 2 different opposing things at once in the sculpture.
Coexisting.
Yes. Okay.
Like good and evil.
Like good and
Night
evil.
day.
Light and dark. Good and bad. Us. No, I'm kidding.
Maura and Gen. Duality.
What was your piece like? How did it make you feel?
It was scary. He
Mhm.
looked very threatening. He had a knife and a spear.
Yeah, that
It's
is...
very scary. He's also like, he's just gonna beat you.
You think he was maybe meant
Eat
to
you.
be threatening?
I think he was probably meant to be threatening. Obviously, he was important because he's got this big headdress on. It's like huge.
Maybe hierarchy of scale was
Yes,
evident, right?
hierarchy of scale, because his horse is little teeny tiny, little bitty horse.
Yes.
Very small.
Nice.
horse's face has like a little covering on it, and the covering has zigzag patterns on it. All of the lines in the piece are like straight up, like with the man and his knives and his sword, his spear.
Do all lines
and his
point
horse.
to something? Or
They kind of bring your eye like back up to the guy's face, because he's sort of in the center of everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, his weapons are like right here, and then his horse's ears are like right here, his face is like right here, so it's just like bam, there's his face.
Okay. How do you think the placement of these artworks in the museum had an effect on your viewing of them?
Well, all the African art was together, so it was like, hey, I know that thing, hey, I know that thing, hey,
Yeah.
that thing looks similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was like, it was overwhelming. There's lots of stuff
Yes.
all around each other.
Could you see the back of it? Could you like walk around it and view the back?
There was like, it was like right here, and there was a wall right here, so like
Oh.
you could, but not really.
Kind of hindered your experience a little
A
bit.
little bit, yes. I could not see the back side of the man or the horse.
Yeah, and that could be important, maybe.
Yes, maybe there's horse details
Yeah.
or man details. You never know.
Did you get to see my sculpture at all? You know?
I briefly looked at it, did not see it a ton.
I did pick that one because it stuck out to me because we had studied the Tlaco Pretty Ladies, and I was kind of disappointed in its placement in the museum because it was on a shelf with a little wall behind it, and I know there was like a back part to the piece that I just wasn't able to view. So that was kind of sad. Yeah, I was trying to get a good camera angle and I really couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely important for an anthropomorphic, half zoomorphic figure.
Yes.
Like that. The only stuff I know about the Yoruba people is because of what Miss Baumgartner taught me.
Oh yeah. I looked up some stuff about the Iwe people online. I think it was, some of it was on NOMA.com, and it was about how they worship song, and they have a lot of interesting dances they do to worship beings. So maybe the figure was dancing really fast with some snakes,
Very
maybe,
fast.
maybe
It's
performing a ritual.
Like when you draw people in motion, it's like
Yeah.
6 arms.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe
Yeah,
it was
like
a
a cartoon.
Or
But yes, definitely it could be some sort of crazy deity ritual.
yes, and maybe it was drumming because I
They
read
do like drumming.
online. Yeah, they do worship drumming. They think that's very important. Maybe it was
Yes.
going like this, drumming, because the arms were all in the same position, moving forward.
Level, like laser focused, like silence.
I feel like put some Devo to it.
Right.
So that was our discussion about our. That was us talking about the artworks we viewed at the NOMA. Leave some comments below with if you've ever been to the NOMA. What have you seen? What are some artworks that remind you of our artworks that we've shown? And have you ever seen our artworks in person? What did you think about them? Leave us comments down below.
Which was your favorite?
Yeah, which was your favorite? Can you do this?
Yes. Can you drum?
Can you drum like this?
Drum work. Please give us a good grade.
This concludes our episode of F2C2 with Maura and Genevieve. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Also, leave comments telling us about your favorite NOMA artwork.